Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Get On Board with the Mayor. And today I decided to minimize it a little bit and just ask one dear friend of mine to come in, Rizwan. And she also is the president of New Era Creative Space right here in Peekskill. So first I want to say thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Good. So I'm going to ask some basic questions just so the people at home who are watching or people who have never heard or seen NECS, New Era Creative Space, just a few questions so they can have an idea of what you do and what you're going to be doing this year. So first off, tell us a little bit about New Era Creative Space. Give us some information for those who may not know exactly what you do or what it is.
So New Era Creative Space is it's a creative educational center right here in Peekskill, right next to the Paramount Theater. It's in that building, old building. It used to be called the, what did they call it before? I forget what Paramount East is what they used to call it, yes. So it's in that same space. Programs were there before, but we took over this space in 2013. So we've been there for about 5 years.
Nice.
And just to give you a little bit of background, I produced theater for kids. And so for many years, we just completed our 12th year doing Children's Theater Company.
Nice.
Right here in Peekskill. And we've been here for 12 years, and we used to operate out of the center at the bottom of the library. The community center there. And the Parks and Rec was really instrumental in making sure that we had that space. So we were there for about 8 years with the support of the Parks and Rec, and then we do our theater performances at the administration building. So we were collaborating with the Parks and Rec and with the administration Peekskill School District. And so we've been doing that for 12 years, and at some point it became apparent that, these creative enrichment programs are really important for children because they don't always have the opportunity to get that in school. And so that New Era Creative Space came out of that, where we decided to expand our programs beyond theater.
Nice.
And we had a very successful theater program. And so New Era Creative Space is really about awakening. The only way I was thinking about it coming here, how do I express it? It's about awakening in children, in youth, their potential, helping them realize that they do have these amazing gifts to share to the world. And so we do it by creating and collaborating with artists, teachers, creating programs or providing programs that are experiential, that are creative, that are fun for kids. They learn, they learn about history. Like our theater is not just about performing and being a star. It's our motto is building character on stage. So all of our shows have a social issue that we're addressing, whether it's bullying, whether it's the environment, whether it's racism. We've done women's rights. So every show we have writers. We partner with this company in New York City, and we have writers who write plays that are insightful so that the kids come out of there thinking about themselves beyond just being a star, but how am I a change maker? So all of our programs are about that. How do you become a change maker?
Nice.
How do you develop your inner talents and then use those talents to improve your own life and to also make an impact in society? So we're very much about all of our programs. We're very much about social change.
That is so awesome to hear. I know. I mean, I've seen a lot of the programs that you run. I've seen a lot of your posts, and I've been following you for a while. But to get detailed information like that is great. That is great.
Yeah.
And I hope people at home are watching, supporting, and coming out. A lot of people they don't have access to certain platforms, so they don't really know what's going on. But I hope people at home are watching this and seeing this. So I know you guys are collaborating a lot with the school now too. I know you're doing part of the MBK.
Yes,
My Brother's Keeper initiative is going to be going through you. I got to participate in one of your installments with the poetry group, and that was awesome.
Yeah. So those are some of the teachers that are going to be working with these youth.
Okay, that is awesome. I know a lot of them there too. Let me ask you, so for those at home who are just watching, just seeing what you do, so what are your expectations when you work with the kids? You pretty much touched upon this and just speaking on what you do. But do the kids is this something that the kids come back to do every year, or is it like a one-time program, and once you're in, We look for new kids every
So
year.
with I'll start with the theater company. With the theater company, when we started 12 years ago, it was amazing. Our first time, it was just this dream that I had
right.
to
That's how it
create
starts.
theater here.
That's how it
And I was
starts.
like, why not Peekskill? Because I used to travel into the city and take my son to the
I had a
theater
dream that
there.
I was going to be a mayor one day.
And here you are. So, yeah, so I started out with, what if we had a theater company here, a theater that's just more about just acting, but more about social change, about building character, using theater as a tool to promote, teamwork and working. So all our shows are ensembles, so there's no one star, and it's all youth, and it's always a musical. But we started with that, and now with New Era Creative Space, we are doing the same, but we've expanded it, and now we're collaborating a lot with the school district. And we have summer programs, so we have spring, programs coming up, and we have summer programs coming up. But the beauty of it now is that we have just become a nonprofit organization.
Nice. Okay,
And
good.
we have this grant to do work with young African American and Latino boys here in Peekskill. And so we can provide programming for them.
That is awesome to hear.
And our programs are all about developing leaders. So sometimes we have one-time programs, sometimes we have programs that run the whole, semester or like a few months. Like our theater program runs 4 months. It starts in October, it ends in February with a huge production. And so there's that. And then we have, with My Brother's Keeper, we're going to work with the youth till the grant goes till next summer.
Right.
So we have that. But also we have summer camps coming up. And we really want to, it was heartbreaking for me last year to, I was providing summer camps, and we had a lot of young people from outside of Peekskill filling up our camps. And my big, so I was like, where are the Peekskill kids? And fortunately, for us, this year we have some money, grant money to provide scholarships for Peekskill students. So I'm really hoping that people are hearing this. And because we have limited space, we have about 8 weeks of camp. And in each camp, we can have about 5 Peekskill students.
Really?
We can offer scholarships to about 5 Peekskill students. And I'd really love to see, because there's so many kids who don't get to go to camp, who can't afford to go to camp. And then, there's a regression over the summer for kids who can't either go to camp or have some kind of enrichment, or whose family is doing something with them. So we have that regression that happens in many communities where people can't afford to have camp. So I'm really hoping that people knock on our doors and take advantage of these opportunities, because over the years, before we were a nonprofit, we were still offering scholarships. Like our theater program, we never turned down any family that couldn't afford it. And that's what we try to not turn down any family who needs help. And now we're starting to get funding for these programs. So I really hope our summer camp, we have stop motion animation, filmmaking, we have web design,
Everything,
we
right.
have art, we have STEAM programs. And, I'm just finishing it. The past week, I've been working on the schedule for the summer camp. So we are going to have eight weeks of camp. That includes, what I've mentioned, architecture for kids, engineering for kids, where it's all experiential, hands-on. We have the teachers lined up, and it would be a shame to just have people come out from out of town, because people do come out of town for our programs.
I believe
So
it.
now that we have funding to have Peekskill students who can't afford I'd really think people will take advantage of it. So we're hoping that people will be knocking at our door, because I want to see for every single camp, I want to see a number of Peekskill kids in our
That is
camps.
awesome. And one thing I can say is a lot of the organizations and boards that we've met, a lot of them are offering scholarships. So it's always good to hear that, youth programs, youth camps, businesses, they're offering scholarships to these youth, to these children in the city of Peekskill. So it's just, there's so much out there that I think people just are unaware of. So it's amazing to hear that. So and when you speak about the programs, what age group do you cater to mostly? Is it all ages, young ages, middle age?
Right now for the camps, I'll tell you, we have one camp as young as 2 camps as young as 4-year-olds. For most of the camps really range, or most of our programs range from about ages 8 through high school.
Okay.
You know,
good,
and then
good.
from time to time we'll do, if we have, because sometimes what has happened is parents have come to us and says, a group of parents have come and said, can you set up a program for this age group, for a younger age group? We've even had Mommy and Me kind of art classes and stuff.
Nice.
Because there was a need. Some parents came to us and said, can you offer this? We have the teachers. And I said, can you get 5 families?
There you go.
and there
So
it happened.
You listen to what the concern
So
and you
exactly.
capitalize
It's
on
like
it.
if we have people, we can provide the programs. If we have kids, we haven't done younger kids because we've had, you know, in the past, we haven't had them fill. So we do tend to do older kids, but we've done, you know, some programs for younger kids. The parents are there, or someone will come and say, you know, I can get a 5 or 6. We usually need at least 5 kids to run a class.
Nice,
So
okay.
if, for the younger kids, if there's a need, we'll provide the classes
go
because we
for
have
it.
the teachers.
That is awesome to hear. It's great. So the last couple of questions. One is there anything for people who are unfamiliar with New Era Creative Space, or even people who are familiar but may not know everything, is there anything that you'd like people at home to know that they may not know about New Era Creative Space? I mean, for one, a lot of people didn't even know where it was, so you answered that.
So
You
that
gave
that
us-
was my first thought. I was like, we're here, we're in
Yeah,
Peekskill,
like,
you
what?
know?
Like, people are gonna watch this video and be like, "That's been in here for 12 years, 8 years." Like,
Yeah, the
what?
theater is 12 years. We just completed our 12th year, and NECS has been around for now 5 years.
That is.
And, you know, this summer
Awesome.
will make 5 years.
And you also just shared that you just went non-for-profit. Was
We
that
just
this
became a
year, or-
non-for-profit like last month.
Wow.
Yes, this
yeah,
year.
Congratulations. Oh, so you got it here first.
Yeah.
You got to watch this show to get the exclusive news.
And we're very happy for the grants that, you know, and funding that
Mm-hmm.
is coming in. And we're going to explore more now that we have the opportunity to.
That's awesome. Wonderful to hear. So my last question, and this is more of a personal question, one of my actual favorite questions to ask. What do you enjoy most about running New Era Creative Space?
What I enjoy most, I enjoy how, you know, when we do our programs, I think what gives me, people often ask me, how do you spend so much time here, you're always here, you're working so hard, and I say, you know, when I hear the little feet of children running down that hallway to get here, you know, it really makes my day, because the kids that know our programs and that have been in our programs, it's their home, and that's what we want them to feel like. It's a safe place. And when I'm sitting there waiting for kids to show up and they run in there, you know, it makes my heart, it's like, this is why I do this, you know. And our theater company, the reason we've lasted for 12 years is that these children, a lot of these families, and we don't advertise the theater that much because we get a 90% return. So every year we can only add 1 or 2 new kids. So if we advertise, we'd have to put a lot of, we
'cause
have
right.
put people on wait lists.
Yeah.
So it's that the families, we become a family. And that is what I love about this work, is that it's not just about providing programs. For me, it's about creating community.
There you go.
For me, it's about a family. It's the New Era Creative Space family. It's the CTC family, and that's what we call each other. We're the CTC family because the volunteers are, most of our programs run because we have amazing people who volunteer, and we always need more volunteers.
There you go.
So,
That's something they may not have known. We always need volunteers.
We
Come
always
on out.
need volunteers.
That's
And
awesome.
it's just the joy of just seeing kids I've watched kids grow. Like in our theater, we've had kids who've been there for 6, 7 years. I've watched them, and I love it when they call me to come see their high school. And I go to the Peekskill High School place. I'm like, 3 of those kids started with us, you know. Or the middle school last year, I was like, your lead person started with us when
There
she
you
was
go.
about 6 years old, you know.
Awesome,
So it's
yeah.
so great. Or when college, we've had, you know, I've had my college, you know, graduates now, like,
That's awesome.
contact me and say, Miss Rizwan, look what I'm doing, you know,
can't
I'm
it
doing
won't get
this
much better than
poetry.
that.
So that gives me the greatest joy, is to see that they're awakened to their potential, and that's what we want to
That is
see
awesome.
happen.
So thank you so much for sharing
And
today.
thank you
Thank you
so
for being
much.
here this
for
evening. I really,
having
really
me.
appreciate it.
Yes.
So everybody at home, you know where you can find New Era Creative Spaces. The old Eastern Paramount, that's what it was?
Yeah, they used to call it Paramount East,
Paramount
but it's
East, the
right
old
under
Paramount
that beautiful mural.
Yeah. So
Yes.
make sure you go check her out. We're going to put some of your information, like website and stuff,
Yes,
on the actual screen
yes.
so they can see that. Mr. Miner will take care of that. So once again, those at home, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're more on board and getting on board this year at the Mayor. God bless. Until next time, have a great evening.